We're live in Toronto. Day number one was a banger. Maybe not for the hometown audience of Toronto. London took them down on their stage. We'll see if Toronto can fare a little bit better today. But game number one, London Spitfire and the Dallas Fuel. It's going to be a good time. There's been a lot of close games already.
Honestly, all of today's matches look so good on paper, and I cannot wait to see how the action plays out, especially because kicking off today, it's the Battle of the Blue here. Yeah. It's going to be great. Yeah,
London Spitfire and the Dallas Fuel are taken to the stage first up. I just honestly can't believe we're in a position where we're doing a landing. It feels so nice. And we're in day number 2 already. This is going to go in the blink of an eye. I almost guarantee it. It's going to suck. I'm going to be real. But obviously, Grand Finals is also going to be pretty damn hype. So make sure you look forward to that. And the teams are fighting for a position there too. You want to come first. You want to get as many league points as possible. True. 2 teams and, well, 1 team, the Dallas Fuel, have proven their excellence in this meta. The London Spitfire, though, looking to take them down.
I mean, I'm actually really surprised that Danny didn't predict the London Spitfire here. Where is your allegiance, Danny?
What? No, well, no. I'll give you a little insight. In the green room a little bit earlier on, Danny did say he'd shave his head if London won. So.
Okay, so he really doesn't want to predict London to win because he doesn't want to shave his head.
Exactly. That's why he's on the Fuel side. A little bit of bias there, maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Doesn't really want to lose all of his hair. Maybe Chatty can actually do it if he wins.
Well, yeah, he's got to get the chatty haircut.
Exactly. Maybe some press-ups on the stage and a little bit of a haircut. Yeah. I mean, look, London yesterday beat Toronto to fight. Was it the push-ups? Not sure. They beat him on the home stage, which is kind of insane. They just weren't fazed by all the boos, and obviously it is kind of nice. Chatty just brushed it off his shoulder like any good player did. Sparker actually did a good interview at the end there. A little bit nervous, but you know, playing on stage against and winning against a team that has a lot of fans in the audience. It's not scary.
Even that though, too. Toronto Defiant came into this tournament as one of the favorites as well because of their performance that they put on in the qualifiers leading up to the Summer Showdown. So I think that was definitely something that London, you know, like they had a big battle yesterday, but they have an even bigger battle today.
Oh yes, they do. I think it's about time we bring London onto the stage, so give a big round of applause to the London Spitfire. Not as many boos as I thought there would be going to be real. I want to see Hattie do some more of those push-ups. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe that was their secret sauce running into this, but
I think so.
This team has had another big come up from a meta where they shifted it completely into their favor, running the Rhine Rush now to the Junker Queen, and Hattie really stepping up to that role.
And I think one of the reasons why we saw London Spitfire yesterday just play so well with the Junker Queen is because it really does lend itself to that kind of Reinhardt Rush style, where if you're playing against the Ashe, which is what Hisu was running yesterday, just run at the enemy team. They're so good at pressing the W key.
Yeah, pretty good. They're pretty damn good at that. We saw some Lucio stats earlier on too. Yep. The Chio versus Admiral head-to-head is going to be pretty damn interesting, that is for sure. Spark has also been pretty cracked on the Sojourn.
Yeah, he has, absolutely. I think that when you look at how Dallas Fuel has been playing the game, they played a lot of the Ashe so far, but yesterday they did switch over to the Sojourn. But when you look at the Sojourn head-to-head between Sparker and Edison, that's where things get really tricky because Sparker does lead in almost every single stat. Actually, I lied. It's every single stat. Sparker's just ahead by a lot.
Well, Dallas Fuel are going to make sure they remain ahead. Remember, they were undefeated coming into the tournament, on the qualifiers, beating the San Francisco Shock, giving them their first loss of the year. Let's bring out Dallas onto the stage. Please give a warm welcome to the Dallas Fuel. Another team with a gargantuan fan base. A lot of people have been following these players since their time back in Korean contenders. Like, it was only a matter of time before Edison stepped up to the league, and it's been good to see him perform. Can he show up against Sparker? Maybe London do get a slight land buff, beating the favorites in the Toronto Defiant yesterday. The Dallas Fuel, ironclad mentals though, Rose. almost got 3-0'd by the Washington Justice, but just smacked him around with a reverse sweep.
Oh, the reverse sweep was something else too. Dallas Fuel identified that the Ashe was just a little too passive, and even with Chio's interview yesterday, you could hear that Chio and Sparkle just really like to play this aggressive game with that Lucio and Genji, but the Ashe, because it's a little bit more passive and plays more defensive, didn't really lend itself to that style. But let's go, Dallas. They are here to play today, and it looks like they're all smiles so far.
Sparkle's always got a grin on his face. Every time I see him, there's not a moment in time where he hasn't got a big smile. Stepping up the stage is going to be big. He's been playing on stage too, mind you, since he was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like, god damn.
Has that experience,
another,
for sure.
Another amazing personality in Hanbin too. Another big smile on his face, and he should be one of the best Junker Queens we have currently in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw the stats that the desk broke down, and even going into this tournament, Hanbin was one of the top Junker Queens just by a lot. And so when you look at also how they performed yesterday, Hanbin is still living up to the hype on that Junker Queen. I just want to see them continue with that aggression, because that's really how they took down Washington Justice yesterday.
Yeah, look. I love support players, I really do. I'm with Scott on that one on the desk. I don't want to hear Johnny talk ever again about how tank is an underappreciated role, okay? Look, you got a new hero, we haven't yet.
Hey, so support's just like, that's such a thankless role too.
Yes,
you know?
It is, Johnny.
Yeah,
Thank
Johnny.
You. I'm not going to blame Parker. He's a DPS player. He can do what he wants.
Yeah.
Tank players need us more than the DPS players need us.
That's true.
Yeah, but the Chio versus Admiral head-to-head in the Lucio is also kind of crazy. Chio loves to go aggro, and so do London. So it's going to be probably a bloodbath.
Well, but you saw it from the stats as well, though. It really does back up that London Spitfire puts a lot of emphasis on making sure that they stay alive. And something else that backs up that just Lucio sustainability is just how well Hadi has been able to make use of the Junker Queen abilities. You know, the wound, being able to get that bleed and kind of get some of that health back has been really nice with those Rampage kills as well. Hadi just does have some of the best wound uptime as well as those Rampage kills.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And he not dying as much as Han did. Saw the stats
yes,
a little bit
absolutely.
Earlier on. But that's kind of ride or die with Dallas, right? I mean, they're either all in or they're all out. And maybe that's one of the reasons why Hanbin's got a lot of deaths. Have to wait and see. Two teams in blue too, which is always quite nice.
I like it. Blue's a great color.
Yeah, my favorite color. Oh yeah, you're wearing blue. Yeah, there you go.
Well, you're wearing blue.
Yeah, blue and yellow, I suppose.
Blue.
Mostly blue. Well, blue's my favorite color, so.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, there you go. But it is insane. And looking at the results from yesterday, Dallas Fuel reverse sweeping the Washington Justice, but it very much felt like a Decay moment, right? It's like, oh, Decay is on stage and he's clicking on people's heads and everybody's just dying. But the Dallas Fuel coming back from that is kind of a big feat. Maybe that is a little bit on Washington, choking at the very end there, but they have been formidable on stage.
Well, the biggest difference was when Edison switched over to the Sojourn. That's really when the reverse sweep started coming through for the Dallas Fuel, and they were able to play way more aggressively with that hero. But I wonder if Dallas Fuel is kind of feeling themselves. Can they go back to the Ashe for Edison? Can they play that on Li Jiang? They did pick this map. But what's interesting about the map stats for both of these teams just this stage is that they're pretty similar in terms of their win rate.
All right, Li Jiang Tower is our first map. In fact, it looks like Li Jiang all day today. So that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, it's first map for every matchup we've got today. So I hope you like Li Jiang. I like Li Jiang.
Yeah, so it is a beautiful map. Of course, it is night and daytime too, with the different modes. I wonder if that's going to be standardized at one point, whether we only play on day or only play on night. Not sure.
This just has to be renamed Market. It can't be Night Market anymore. I'm standing by this.
But it's still like it. But what if it's only open at night?
Well, I don't care. It's daytime here.
Yeah, but it's closed now.
But it's still the market.
Yeah, but it's closed. So it's not a market if it's closed, right?
But the shops still exist.
Yeah, but there's no people in the shops.
So?
So it's night market because it's the night.
I'm gonna die on this hill.
In the game.
I don't care. I'm gonna die on this hill.
Team 4's listening, and they're on my side.
You know what? They probably are. It's fine. It's okay. It's beautiful either way. But let's talk about the match at hand here. London and Dallas getting ready to come out of the gates, and Dallas looking to use that symmetric teleporter from Sparkle just to try to beat London Spitfire to the punch. And Edison right now is on the Sojourn.
All right. Yeah, that's the change that you wanted to see. A lot more fast pace. You got to be if you're against the London Spitfire. Oh, good first blood. Sparkle taking down Sparker. They highlighted how many letters Sparkle has versus London Spitfire Sparker. This time it's Sparkle coming out on top. Land also falls. This aggression that we wanted to see from the Dallas Fuel already quite apparent. Oh, Sparkle with 3 kills to start off. And Dallas Fuel end up capping.
Well, what's really interesting is you can see that Sparkle and Chio right now are playing together as a unit like they want to be able to do. And with Edison on the Sojourn, it really does allow Dallas Fuel to play this faster-paced game. They're going to be focusing down Sparker. Sparker has the ability to get these pop-off moments and take out somebody before the fight even begins. So if Dallas can take out that massive threat, they're not worried about that so much anymore.
Sparkle's not that much ahead of Backbone, kind of ult charge right now. Slow and steady. Dallas Fuel don't really want to give up positioning. They just want to bait London Spitfire in between these doors. A clutch commanding shout from Hardy to try and keep himself alive, but the over-aggression from Fuel, they're not punished at all. You can see Sparkle dashing back to the rest of his team. And with Hardy dead, London Spitfire have to make a decision. They either go in off of some damage, some poke from Backbone and Sparkle, or they have to back all the way out. This indecisiveness might cost them here as Landon gets taken pretty low. Backbone reflecting a lot of that damage, but look at that. Hardy just rushes in. A double Carnage kill from the Junker Queen. Dallas Fuel do end up losing Sparkle, but look how he jumps back into the fight, instantly taken care of, as the Dallas Fuel just continue to control the point.
I mean, Sparkle is just getting so many resources from the Dallas Fuel. Not only is Chio there with that healing, but also that speed boost, but Fielder's also saving a lot of those armor packs for Sparkle specifically. And now, just like that, Sparkle does have the Dragon Blade online. But, you know, is Admiral going to use the beat for this? Can Dallas Fuel really force Admiral? Can they just go in with it first?
Early blade from Backbone. Match the beat and a rally from Fielder. There's a lot of overhealth, so London Spitfire have to back off. Sparkle almost gets taken down. There's the blade from Sparkle as Backbone gets eliminated. The beat did come out from the Spitfire, but it only hit 4. And Sparkle just waits that overhealth out and dives back in to get some additional damage. A nice little commanding shout to push the rest of the Dallas Fuel out. They want to make this last fight as Edison takes care of Admiral. He's going pretty low in the 1v1 versus Sparker, and he comes up the better. But it is a trade. Oh, and they can't touch! Oh, Backbone just caught on the lip of that window. He couldn't actually get onto the point and trigger OT. I mean, Dallas Fuel claim round 1.
They do claim round 1. I mean, even if Backbone had gotten there, Dallas had picked off so many members of London Spitfire that Backbone probably didn't have the sustainability in order to actually bring that overtime into a round flip. But they get to go again. Let's see if we see any changes here, but I'm not expecting too many. Edison feels really comfortable on the Sojourn right now, and Sparkle as well. That Symmetric Teleporter really did help to make sure that Dallas Fuel could get the positioning that they wanted to in that first round, despite the fact that London Spitfire made it to the point first. Dallas just gonna go ahead and rush in. Teleporter also allows Hanbin to save that commanding shout for when they want to actually start engaging in the fight.
TP strat, yep, way quicker. Not going to take a fight in server room though. It looks like they want to hold around the outside. It's a little bit better, mind you, if you put yourself in the shoes of Edison. It's a very small doorway you have to go through, so the right clicks might be easier to land. So Backbone's already gone in. He goes for the dash kill onto Edison. There's a commanding shout to sustain it, as well as Sparker. This time London are on top. The Dallas Fuel make an executive decision to back out rather quickly. Something they'd be very good at, Rose. It's just, like the neural network is completely linked between every player of the Dallas Fuel. They know when to go in, they know when to go out, and they work as a hive mind.
Yes, I was about to say that's what I was thinking as well, but they're already back too. That's what allows you with a quick switch around.
Double disruptor shot doesn't really result in all of anything, but look at the health bars the London Spitfire right now. Hardy and Spark are going pretty low, and they actually give up the point for free.
You gotta wait for that sustainability to come back online before you can move in, but Hardy's down now. Dallas Fuel gonna capitalize on this.
Yeah. Misstep there from London Spitfire. They needed to get healed a little bit quicker so they could keep themselves in the fight. Infinite reflection there from Sparkle and Backbone, just reflecting each other's shots back at each other. Dallas Fuel, now they control. What can London Spitfire do to come back? They're not really near any ultimates. Sparkle's the closest one, 10% towards that blade.
Yeah, and Admiral right now is sitting on 70% of that sound barrier, so that's not even a viable option to try to respond to that blade, but Sparkle has been finding so much value.
Dallas Fuel get the call. Sparkle's got that blade online already, and he's going to pull it. Admiral's nowhere near that beat, like you were saying, Rose. Sparkle goes pretty low and actually taken down by Landon. In amongst the chaos, Admiral does end up falling over, and London Spitfire now don't have that speed boost to march on in. They've still got a fair bit of heals. That means the Dallas Fuel have to rely on Edison getting a shot onto the backline. Backbone goes pretty low, jumps back to Mega Health Pack using that Reflect. And now getting healed up slowly. Admiral's going to be able to come back into the fight, but the Dallas Fuel are going to march on forward with that beat. A headshot onto Hardy ends his life, and Backbone sees that as a signal to back away. The Dallas Fuel once again come out on top as the London Spitfire now eventually have ults that they've been building this whole round.
I mean, London, though, they were really hoping that Admiral Soundberry would be able to get back online. They were able to contest that point for so long, but it just wasn't there. Chio beat them to the punch, able to use that Soundberry to play a little bit more aggressively and just stop the fight in its tracks. But now, at least Admiral did hold on to it, could go in with the double support ultimates here, but Fielder goes first.
Look at the agency from the Dallas Fuel right now, always marching on forward. Backbone hitting 4 people at a time with these swings from the blade. Unreal value. Doesn't matter how many support ultimates you have. If multiple people are getting hit with the Dragon Blade, it's still doing enough for the rest of London to finish the Dallas Fuel DPS off. London Spitfire will end up getting the cap, but Dallas have 87%.
I mean, this is what we expect from Backbone, though. Even yesterday, watching that match, Backbone just took a little bit to kind of ramp up to being able to get that value from those blades, but I'm expecting to see Backbone able to convert that Dragon Blade energy into kills. But it's time for
from
Sparker.
Edison. Sparker can hold on to his. If London Spitfire can just survive this overclock, they might be good. Rally's coming out from Landon too. You can see how passive Sparker's playing right now. He wants to go and peek with the overhealth so he doesn't get one shot. Backbone and Fielder end up trading. Much better for the Dallas Fuel, but they actually get hit with a 3-man rampage. Now they're in trouble. Sparker leaps forward, finds a kill on Chio, but a reflection kill from Sparkle will end his life. A rather scrappy fight on the outside of this point. Harbin is all alone. He hasn't got many heals left, and Landon with a nice double kill onto the front line of the Dallas Fuel as they continue to hold. They burnt a lot of ultimates in that fight though, Rose.
They did, but I mean, the London Spitfire, that's something that they're really good at, is executing that patience to hold on to those ultimates until they know they have that advantage in ultimate economy. Now it really is about Admiral and Chio. Who's going to get to that sound barrier first? Right now, Chio was leading the charge. He was able to beat Admiral, but London Spitfire, they played a little bit more passively, so they have that health, sustainability online. Maybe they can hold out.
Eddie looking for a cheeky right click, trying to peek one of those supports. He can see the Lucio kind of diving in that corner. Has to use the power slide to get away. That's kind of unfortunate. And now the Dallas Fuel are making their approach. There's the beat. Oh, Landon didn't see that one coming. London Spitfire have nothing. Absolutely not. Well, Sparkle pulled. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. Intimidation Blade, I suppose.
I guess so.
Sparkle was the only one to survive. He's actually going to get chased down by the Dallas Fuel. They're not going to be able to touch. Maybe Backbone gets there, but he hasn't got a dash reset. And look, Chio's just hugging at the point for dear life to boop anybody away. And just like that, the Dallas Fuel running over the London Spitfire.
That first round, definitely favorable for the Dallas Fuel. That second round, a little bit closer there. London Spitfire holding onto those ultimates for the perfect time to at least be able to get 99 to 100. So Dallas, though, we'll see what they got. Edison looking real warmed up on that Sojourn today.
Just the speed from the Dallas Fuel, the way they're playing right now. We said it might be a bit of a bloodbath, and it was. London just cannot keep up to that tempo. Fire burning quicker than a jet plane can fly. We'll have to see what happens in map number 2. It's going to be London's pick after this. Dallas Fuel burning pretty bright already with a clean 2-0 on Lee Zhangtao. It's Hanbin time.
It is Hanbin time. Pretty excited about how Hanbin has been playing too, because he's just been kind of tearing through the London Spitfire. Those rampages, they've been capitalized and followed up upon, and I think a lot of that has to do with how Sparkle has really been playing on the Genji just to follow up on those low rampage targets.
Yeah, just the speed at which Hanbin is playing is kind of crazy. And that's what you want, right? You want to throw, I mean, Spitfire in this case, but the enemy team off kilter. You just want to play at your own kind of tempo. That's one of the reasons why London did so well against the Toronto Defiant. They knew that Toronto were playing a little bit more passively because Hisu loves to play the Ashe, a little bit more a slow comp compared to the Sojourn, and they were able to play at their own speed. Can they shift up now to the speed of the field?
Well, I think that's something that London Spitfire is so good at, is identifying those weaknesses or maybe those kind of vulnerability points of their opponents. But unfortunately, the vulnerability point I would have expected to see in this match would have been the Sojourn versus Sojourn. But Edison has been performing really well, has a lot of that damage under control, but also the way that Sparkle and Chio are focusing down Sparker has made it a little bit more difficult for him to actually get the value that we want to see on that Sojourn.
Okay, map number 2. Gone to Hybrid. Paraíso.
Yeah, Jaws! Let's go!
Right, no way. I'm telling you, it's the British accent. Doesn't do me any favors.
No, you're doing great.
Or at least on pronunciation, anyway. All right, this was Spitfire's pick, but Dallas Fuel actually get their choice of where they want to start, either attack or defense.
So Dallas Fuel will start on the defense, and that has a lot to do with London Spitfire's win percentage on this map. It's 100. They're 3-0. I know that's not a huge sample size, but they did get wins over the Houston Outlaws and Toronto Defiant on this map. And it's always when they've started on the defense. So Dallas Fuel just gonna go ahead and take that advantage away from them.
We gonna see any Ashe here, do you reckon?
You could definitely see it on first point. So this is where I have the questions, is like, is Edison gonna feel comfortable on the Ashe? You can totally play it on first point. So I would kind of expect to see that. And a lot of why Ashe is so prominent on that first point is because you have all of these entryways that those dynamites, which Edison's gonna have, because he's on the Ashe right now on the defense, will be very valuable. He's gonna charge up that Bob so fast. You can even see, like, as we kind of fly through the map here, those choke points that London Spitfire will have to aggress through. Super good for getting that dynamite value.
Yeah, even
super
like
small.
on the point, that little shop, the little fruit shop.
Yeah, where a lot of attacking teams like to try to go to kind of force the enemy towards them.
Yeah, it's Disrupt Shot's pretty decent in there, but like Dynamite, you can't run away from Dynamite, unfortunately, unless you escape the blast radius. All right, Backbone, what you got, son?
Is he gonna get the grapple this time?
Oh yeah, he missed the grapple last time around. He's got it this time, don't worry. He was practicing yesterday.
Whoa, is that Chio?
Well, yeah, he's in the skybox. You know.
Yeah, of course.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, no, Chio's not a frog, he's like a falcon. I don't.
He's a jumping tree frog. A lot of trees to jump around on this map, that's for sure. All right, let's see how London Spitfire end up attacking this. They do have the Sojourn if they just want to rush the point or get on that high ground. Push away Edison. Looks like Backbone's going to make the first incision with his shurikens. And look, Edison's getting chased away, but the peel from the Dallas Fuel is kind of crazy. Backbone forced to use that to dash and reflect already. Dallas Fuel are quite split up. In fact, they've traded places with the London Spitfire for the most part. Edison still remains quite protected by the rest of the Fuel. He's used that coach gun to get back on his side of the map. And Abro actually gets taken out. They're not really paying attention to Edison right now, but they probably should do. They end up trading, and Sparkle also falls. But that dynamite's pretty big. Backbone's going to die to it. 2 members down for the London Spitfire. Sparker, the only one that can open this one up, but it's not going to happen. And a quick kill for Harmon. Nice little start on the defense for the Fuel.
Look at how much value Edison's been getting too. Both Edison and Sparkle, 60% and counting on their ultimates. But also when you look at the support race too, Fielder and Chio, just right now, they're doing so much healing, so much damage. Chio in the skybox. How are you supposed to hit him unless Admiral goes after him? But he's sticking with the team.
The big thing about these comps too, Rose, is, you know, they take a long time to end these fights most of the time, and half the time bank has gone off of one push pretty much. They're going to set up, but London needs to be able to make a mark here. If the fight goes the same amount of time, then yeah, your time bank is going to be 0 before you even touch the point. And with a kill like that, at least, I mean, gracefully, London Spitfire can back off. And Dallas Fuel, they're going to have to wait again. They don't want to overextend either. If they end up going down, it's disaster.
But the poke pressure that Dallas Fuel is putting on London Spitfire right now actually makes it very difficult for them to disengage, because Dallas will push up, really not allow London Spitfire to get that territorial length that they kind of want to just kind of get away from the situation. Hanbin too playing so aggressive. Backbone keeps jumping in so early.
Yep. London Spitfire moving at 6. Bob's already available. Double rally coming out, but London Spitfire already pretty weak. Edison and Hardy end up trading, but Sparkle's still holding onto that blade. Oh no, at least the B set to save him, but he's still just trying to cut Sparker apart. Look at the target priority from the Dallas Fuel there. That overhealth from Admiral's beat meant absolutely nothing. It just didn't exist.
Dallas Fuel is putting a lot of focus onto Backbone and Sparker. You know, Backbone's been jumping in really early. That leaves that defensive mechanism with the deflect unavailable to really help out the backline. And so when you're going after Sparker, you're going after Landon, you get those cooldowns offline, then all of a sudden you don't have that crowd control anymore to be able to deal with something like Sparkle going after you.
And the Bob's available. Backbone has to back out. He's got no cooldowns left. And the Spitfire a little bit worse for wear. Oh, there's the Bob. He's taking control of the car. He's guarding it, and he's actually guarding Backbone and April, who cannot reach the rest of the team because the Bob is just stood in their way. The Dallas Fuel with an unbelievable defense.
They've already brought London Spitfire down to 30 seconds. Yes, this is final fight, and it's really all on Sparker right now to get something done with this overclock. But is Hanbin even going to give them the chance? Hanbin, Chio playing so aggressively in this match that Hanbin could just set up for a massive rampage right down main, and London Spitfire might not know what hit him.
Okay, Fielder taking the 1v1 versus Backbone. Rampage comes out from Hanbin, but he's cancelled. Hardy with a meat shot. Does take him out, but Edison and Fielder just holding that high ground. They erase Landon and Sparker, but London Spitfire still have one support and Hardy on the point. He's going to get a fair bit of healing from his own passive after he hits those jagged blades and the carnages. And it is Sparkle's chance now to just stall for long enough for Hanbin to get back. The Rampage hits 2 on the Dallas Fuel, but now the Fuel are back up as 5 again. Sparkle kills 3, because of course he does. 78% is all the Spitfire gain on point A.
Edison too, just playing so far back on point, really denied Hadi a ton of point presence he would have needed to be able to stay into this match and get that overtime just continued.
I mean, the damage diff right now between Edison and Sparker is kind of large. Sparker currently sitting at 2.5k damage. Edison near 5k, like almost doubling. That's a big differential. Like, a lot of that is from the Dynamites. Ashe in general is going to get, you know, gold damage more often than not, right? With the Dynamites and the shots from long range. Sparker is a Sojourn, just wants to get those headshots, but still, a disparity like that right now, it's not what you want to see.
No, I think that's the problem with the Ashe versus the Sojourn, especially when it's in the hands of somebody as competent as Edison, is that those Dynamites put so much pressure onto the enemy team that you really just don't have the ability to go in. Here's where things go wrong for London, as Sparkle actually does get hit by the Rampage, but he goes up and over to be able to get that massive pick onto Admiral and Landon, and all of a sudden, Hadi's just not there to be able to go back to reactivate that overtime.
Yeah, don't worry, Sparkle's still clean with it. He's still clean with it.
Yeah, he's still got it.
All right, Dallas Fuel are on their offense now. They're going to stick with that Ashe. Let's see if Edison can find a first pick. London Spitfire have kind of a tough mountain to climb now as they need to defend. They got 78%, so they got a little bit of leeway there.
Yeah, they can definitely afford maybe to give up some of the point if the going really gets tough. Yeah. But Backbone, look at how he's kind of playing by himself. Dallas Fuel have done a great job of focusing down a target that has been isolated.
Oh, speaking of isolated targets, Edison looked like he wanted to try and peek onto Sparkle there. Backbone just ignored by the backline of the Dallas Fuel. Did a fair bit of damage to Fielder, forcing him to back up, just perma-hold shield. And with that kill, you still got to be careful of London Spitfire. You got to end this fight fast because Edison is coming back rather quickly. Sparkle is behind, use that reflect, still got his dash available, and he rejoins the rest of the team. Hadi is pretty low, and in fact, Backbone sees an opening, gets the dash reset off of Fielder. And another pick for the Spitfire is good. Again, burning the time bank is the name of the game right now. Although Hadi going down is not good. Edison is pretty low, but the London Spitfire just bleeding out right now as Chio takes care of Backbone. Backbone trying to make a hero play. Hadi's going to be able to come back in a couple of moments, but not before the Dallas Fuel can get on the point.
Landon's going to have to use the rally here. That's going to be huge for the sustainability. They can't just back up like this.
The speed the Dallas Fuel playing right now is a little bit insane, a bit too much for the Spitfire to currently deal with, but that rally is going to hold them off for the time being. No tick has been acquired by the Fuel yet, but they are holding on to that rally. They eventually use it, hoping Sparkle can get that blade to end this fight. Landon's already dead, and now the Spitfire with almost no healing need that beat to come online. It is 10% away, but the Dallas Fuel aren't even going to let them get to it. The blade has been pulled, but it's already over. Sparker knows it too. Oh, a nice headshot, but yeah, a little 1v4 from Sparker, not going to happen. London Spitfire unable to keep up with the pace, the momentum from the Dallas Fuel. They're granny shifting, not double clutching like they should. And the Dallas Fuel with a quick and clean 2-0.
This is so good for them right now. Dallas Fuel, they just look like they know exactly how to deal with the London Spitfire. Usually it's London trying to find those advantages against the opponent, but this time around, it really is Dallas. They know where they can exploit these DPS in the backline, and it's removing so much damage from the board.
It's turning out to be a little quick series. Maybe Hadi needs to get to the floor, do some more push-ups to get him back in. Because, yeah, that Paraiso, or Paraiso, sorry.
You corrected it, it's okay.
Was pretty damn... Oh, there, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
It is a rough spot for London Spitfire to be in. Can they come back? Reverse sweeps, we've almost had them already in the Summer Showdown. We'll have to wait and see after this break. It's London's choice once again. Hey, yo, new skin just dropped. Yes, the Summer Showdown legendary skin is out right now. 200 League tokens for the Happy Genji skin. I wonder if they put a little Easter egg of Happy on there. Maybe a little JPEG of Happy somewhere hidden in the skin. Not sure, but that's on sale right now for 200 League tokens. Make sure you pick that up. Yeah, I do like the fish in a bag.
I was gonna say that's for you.
That is, yeah, they put me in the game. There's, you know what? There is a shark in the game on Ash's pool party skin, or like the pool summer skin.
Right.
On the gun,
Yeah,
there's a dangly like shark at the very end of the gun.
There's a shark on Blizzard World too, isn't there?
There is. It's hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. More sharks in this game.
Let's go.
More British fags in the audience. Let's go.
Listen, there's some sharks in this game though, right now, in this match. Dallas Fuel, they're hungry. They smell the blood in the water right now, and that's gonna be that 3-0 versus the London Spitfire. Yes, yes, yes. That British flag needs to be a little bit bigger. Yeah,
give London some more confidence. I mean, they are down 2-0, and it has been a couple of quick maps, but you know, you need that ironclad mental to be in with a chance to beat the Dallas Fuel right now. Paddy's #1 fan. Can't wait till we get Paddy back.
Push-up buff too.
Push-up buff. Yo, true. Circuit Royal is our next map, Rose. That was London's choice. Why do you think we're going here?
Yeah, so London has performed very well on Circuit Royale so far in this stage.
Yeah.
As like a 2-1 record so far. One of those wins was over the Toronto Defiant. I hate bringing this up in the home crowd. I'm so sorry, but it's just stats. It's just facts, everybody. But yeah, Circuit, it's great hit scan map.
Yeah.
Sparker has found a lot of value, great picks, especially around the statue. When Sparker's able to get that high ground, you can see that he's able to, you know, get those really nice off angles and just make sure that he's getting the value. But Dallas, they have been denying that value, focusing down Sparker, sending Sparkle and Chio after that hit scan player, and just making sure he kind of can't play the game. It's been hard for him to get those overclocks online as quickly as he has been able to do in series previous. Not to mention, Dallas Fuel, this is where they started their reverse sweep yesterday over the Washington Justice.
Yeah, confidence is probably an all-time high for Dallas. They're like, wait, you picked Circuit Royal? Really? Really?
We know this map.
Okay, well, that's fine with us. I mean, if you're thinking about it from London's perspective, they want to set Sparker up. He's definitely been the linchpin for the team and getting a lot of those opening picks. And this is a bit more of a hit scan orientated map, long sight lines. We know what when we had the Widow meta, like the best Widowmakers were coming out, getting some crazy clips.
But the spawn holds too.
Yeah, not so many long sight lines when you get in spawn health.
Nope.
Yeah. Kind of rough. Kind of rough.
Fun to get out of spawn though, so now it really is about how Dallas is going to control it. Oh, landed with a first pick too. Yeah. This looks good.
Target priority from Backbone there. You can just see him spam right-clicking into Fielder. Yeah, spawn hold broken even. Oh, Backbone a little broken there. Might need to be put in a cast after this. All right, that's probably the quickest spawn hold break of all time, unless Edison finds the little 1v3. No, he doesn't. All right, London. Broken the spawn hold already.
And you can see Landon even, like, after he got picked, he's like, yeah, okay, like, this is good though. Like, the rest of the team, they've got the cart rolling. I'll be coming back soon. And London Spitfire, they're walking away with a pretty good chunk of charge. But what's really interesting about that is Edison's still leading slightly in the Sojourn matchup. I mean, he walked away with 35% there. Edison got some quick picks too, but Dallas is back fast.
Disruptor shots there. They look like miniature May Blizzards, which I always find quite funny. All right, this is the perfect corner for Sparker to find kills. Nice right click. Wow, Dallas Fuel just crumpling under the sheer weight of the Spitfire currently.
Well, this is the setup we wanted to see from London. They picked Circuit Royale so they could play to their strength of Sparker, being able to get those long sight lines, and he is absolutely delivering right now on this attack push. What a record pace right now to be able to capture that first point, and the aggression that London Spitfire is going with too. They're setting themselves up to be able to use this rally really early in these fights.
Playing at their own tempo, another big pick onto Eddie. Dallas Fuel now down a DPS. You can see Backbone so close to the blade. London Spitfire can just hold all the way up to this point. Harbin's actually alone. Rally for the Dallas Fuel to try and get Harbin out of there. But that overhealth didn't build quick enough. Backbone is getting completely ignored by the Dallas Fuel. He's able to earn himself a free blade. Maybe the British flag in the audience helping them out just a little bit. Backbone with a nice double kill, okay. And look at the ultimates, they didn't need any of them to push up this hill.
That's actually wild. Landon could hold on to that rally, and Fielder doesn't have it anymore. Okay, gotta watch this one more time because Backbone has been setting up some huge picks here for Sparker. You've got the deflect kill onto Edison, and then you're able to go after isolated kills like Hotbin.
All right, there's the blade. London Spitfire trying to set a record right now. Sparker went up, dying to Backbone's blade, and the Spitfire still have ults. I mean, you don't really want to use them as the Dallas Fuel getting extinguished. 5 minutes and 15 seconds in the time bank for Circuit Royale.
Gio went down so early, he only got 5% ult charge in that last fight. So he's really behind right now on building up to that sound barrier. Admiral already has it, but you don't even need it anymore as a response to Sparkle's blade because that got taken off of the board. So now London Spitfire, they can keep playing this aggressive game. They can go actually fight by the pool if they want to, using that sound barrier way more aggressively to set up Sparker this time for success.
I don't know what happened. He looked like he got body blocked there, but Sparker does make it out alive, but maybe not for long. Edison with a right click onto Hardy. Hardy's good rampage, but put him in a vulnerable position so Edison can take him out. Two members of the Fuel were anti, but they're healed up after Fielder and Shio just spam a couple of health packs. And now the Dallas Fuel regaining control of the map. The payload has been pushed a fair amount though, Rose. And with 4 minutes in the time bank and a beat for this the London Spitfire, if Sparker gets a pick, it could open this up to a final fight on that last stretch.
Really could. I mean, this point is very difficult to complete, but when you've got something like the beat, maybe you can get in and break this stronghold that Dallas Fuel have right now.
Nice disengage from the London Spitfire. That rally was used by the Fuel to try and conquer, but London just take it in their stride. Harbin's in a good position, Rose. He can use that rampage when they come through the doors. Look, he's trying to line up for it now. He spots a lot of people in their sights, and a whip shot has already been used. If Admiral is patient, maybe he can get a boom. Carnage kill, Carnage hit, in fact. It's a couple of people, a nice little boom, but he still manages to get Landon and Hardy. London Spitfire backing up, but still piling on that pressure with a rally of their own. Backbone holding on to that blade. No one's gone down apart from Edison as the Dallas Fuel still want to fight this, but it's looking rather worse for them. They don't have a lot of damage with Edison dead, and Backbone with a clean triple kill, and they'll get the payload going again.
This is another reason why London Spitfire have chosen Circuit Royale as maybe a start to their reverse sweep, or at least keeping them in the game. Backbone has been able to use all of these tight-knit corridors to keep getting those dash resets, playing along the walls, making sure that those shurikens are going to be able to find their mark. You've got a really narrow lane to fight in, and not only does Backbone kind of make those Dallas Fuel members low, but low enough that Sparker can get those charge-up railgun shots.
Rotation for London. They want to take high ground away from the Dallas Fuel. Double blades are online. Backbone dashes back to the point to try and put pressure on the Fuel, but now the Fuel see this as an opening. The blades have been popped. Where are the kills? Sparkle's super low in the corner. Deflector's run out as Landon takes care of it. Backbone dashes back to the rest of his team to help them out, but they didn't even need it. Landon and Hadi come up big, and now Edison with the overclock in the backline gets it deflected back in his own skull. The Dallas Fuel just wiped off the map as the London Spitfire. It's quite a quick push. End up capping with 2 minutes and 17 seconds in the time bank.
That's pretty lightning fast right there. Wow, I mean, this is just a complete turnaround right now from the London Spitfire. They look like a brand new team. Those first two maps going so heavily into Dallas Fuel's favor, but now that London Spitfire are playing in a comfort pick, they really are setting up Sparker and Backbone for so much success. That's been a huge key for London to just kind of keep going for those big isolated kills onto Dallas Fuel, and a lot of that is Backbone just kind of leading the charge, getting those shurikens, finding somebody that's low, and then all of London just rushing at that one person. But we are swapping sides, so now we're going to get a chance to see how London Spitfire fare on the defense.
Yeah, no, funny business. I wonder how close London end up holding. A couple of times we've seen teams have like a loose spawn hold, not really playing up to the doors, more playing around the payload.
London's one of those teams too. maybe they try something a little funny when it comes to the defensive hold, but London, when they do focus a lot more on the support from Admiral and Landon, they do like to play a little bit farther back so they don't get run over by the spawns. And Dallas too, I think they're actually preparing for that when you see Edison on the Ashe trying to get that dynamite damage to actually force London Spitfire back and get that disengage, but Edison doesn't see it.
Oh, they know.
Okay, they know.
Papela, they know. Okay, all good. I mean, I guess benefit for Edison here is that they're all clumped up, so you can just lob a dynamite and hope it lands. There you go. See, that dynamite damage is kind of insane. However, the shout will help the supports keep everybody healthy. Payload's still moving, mind you. London Spitfire doesn't want to let it slip through their hands, and it's doing just that. Look at that. They have to make a move now, otherwise Sparkle could move that payload for free. He gets that over health, but now he's trying to go for a flank. Sparker knows he's there. A couple of shurikens fly his way, but London, creating more of that hive mind that the Dallas Fuel have, end up coming up with a kill onto Edison. They do trade it for backbone, but holding in this small room is good for the time being.
Let's have Sparker as well. You can just kind of wrap around the Fuel.
Out. Okay, the Dallas Fuel managed to catch Sparker out. You saw him holding on. He tried to use that slide, went back into the building, into the wall. Got body blocked. Is the Dallas Fuel? They're going to break this hole. Get the payload. Go. Okay.
All right, that was great. Just map understanding and awareness from Dallas Fuel. They recognized how London Spitfire wanted to play this game. They denied that high ground advantage that London had held onto for a while, and then Edison was able to find way more value with the Ashe. You're not having to shoot upwards into the staircase or on top or play skeet shooting there with your dynamites either. So way more value. Edison and Sparkle, they're still going to be trying to find these picks.
Ooh. Edison almost clears up Paddy there. His dynamite's going to be pretty big. Everybody holding this corner from the London Spitfire. This Bob could be quite influential too. There's another dynamite. Hits what, like 3 or 4 people there? Now London decides to go in, but Landon's actually on the floor. A counter bash from Fielder. Puts him on his back so he can't escape. Or can't even whip shot anybody. There's no utility there. As soon as he gets, I guess, the mutual knockdown. And this Dallas Fuel end up capping. Apparently no one will be able to defend this map at this point. It's all good.
40-second difference too. 40-second difference for how fast Dallas Fuel cap versus the London Spitfire.
Yeah.
London came in with like 5 minutes or something, but that's pretty negligible now when you know that Dallas Fuel can play such an aggressive game that Bob was held on to. Edison can just kind of throw that as a zoning ultimate for the London Spitfire, and then they just have to disengage. They don't want to be taking too much damage from the Bob or the dynamites. All of that damage does add up.
There's the Bob. He's running to the back. He was already half HP before he started shooting. Bob does fall to the disruptor shot. And that was all on Sparkle. Look at him, 300 HP Genji. Yeah, you take that any day of the week. All the resets are good. Dallas Fuel now playing London their own game, just trying to force ultimates out. All started off with that Bob from Edison, had to push London all the way back, and they took a lot of damage from that too.
But now London Spitfire can fire back with that sound barrier. You know, you have that over health available. You aren't going to be taking too much more from the dynamites, and even the blade might have to lose that a little early, but oh, look at the boop on it, Sparkle.
Yeah, he does get booped, and London Spitfire just beeline straight to the payload. They know it was a 2v5 on the point. Backbone with an unbelievable amount of damage with his blade. He's seen the Dallas Fuel trying to cower away from him, but they end up just lining themselves up. 3 minutes for the Dallas Fuel. They don't get the payload though, unfortunately. Stopped 3 meters away from capping point B.
It's a huge denial from London Spitfire too, especially when they've been preserving their ultimates. Now the ultimate economy is back in their favor. They are so good at being able to carve out that just advantage. They force Dallas Fuel, force their opponents to use their ultimates first.
Here you go, this is what you want to see.
Huge
London Spitfire
rampage.
forcing the issue. The Rampage hit 3 and Backbone. It's an easy clean out, right? You get a lot of quick dashes. Everybody's anti, so they can't get healed. Dallas Fuel still willing to fight this, so is Harbin. He's cleaning up the Spitfire somehow. It's up to Sparker to try and figure this fight out. He's got Hardy in his back as Harbin gets eventually killed. He survived way longer than I think London Spitfire anticipated. Oh, a nice shot to Chio. Sparker, the hero of that fight. 0.9 meters too. Another minute burned off. The Dallas Fuel struggling to get up this hill.
They still might be able to cap, though. I mean, 2 minutes is plenty of time for Dallas Fuel to actually out-rotate London Spitfire in these ultimates. You're going to expect London to use this rally now, but are they going to be able to get Backbone's Blade up in time? Oh, Hottie's getting pretty low, too. Sparker?
Same with Sparker. He had to back off. He got dynamited. Oh, what a shot. Edison. The rally comes out from the Spitfire. They got a little bit of overhealth to work with, but look, they have to back up. Will they contest? That's the question, or will they hold this 4 position? I don't think there's a point right now. It'll be a 3v5. Chio is pretty low, but receives the commanding shout just in time, and now the Dallas Fuel don't want to let London set up. But London might just do that. A kill on Chio is good enough, but the Dallas Fuel more than willing to fight these 4-on-5s. You've seen it time and time again, and they kill Landon. The London Spitfire's backline just fall apart. Sparkle, once again, comes up massive.
Look at that, too. In all of the chaos, Dallas Fuel ended up capturing that second point. They don't add a whole lot of time to the bank, and in fact, London Spitfire is still going to be outpacing them. Dallas Fuel, though, they could just snowball here. Jack, look at that. 4 ultimates on the board. London still trying to fight to get these online. Backbone's gonna have to find value. It's been a few maps now. His Dragon Blades have been good.
From Backbone, Gio matches it with the beat. Can Backbone find enough damage for the team to follow him up? The Bob's already out. The London Spitfire have to make a choice. They go in or they back out. They're gonna decide to go in, and Edison's Bob just cleans house. The London Spitfire getting back-to-back team killed by Dallas, and they still have 2 ults online.
They do, but you know that Admiral has a sound barrier now, so at least when London Spitfire rush out of the spawn, as long as nobody gets taken out here, Admiral's sound barrier should be able to keep them in this fight for 1 more contest.
Late for Sparkle. The beat comes out. The rampage from Heartbeat gets cancelled. Sparkle just hit him with a quick punch. And now the Dallas Fuel ultimate is absolutely nothing. And the London Spitfire manages to defend against them. And this might just be last fight. There's 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, but London can play super far up.
Yeah, they're going to, because they know that even if they get completely wiped here, they're just trying to get some poke damage. They want Sparker to have that overclock online, because if they end up popping that while Dallas Fuel are making an approach to this payload, maybe Sparker gets to take somebody out. They get more time off of this clock, they stack around Dallas Fuel, and then all of a sudden, it will be last fight. Landon, though, has the rally. They can go ahead and start building up that overhealth now to make sure that they can take this fight by the pool.
Dynamite doesn't really do all too much. Someone needs to know on the side of the Dallas Fuel. They're all anti. Edison and Chio in trouble. Hardy chasing down the front line. There's the rally from the Dallas Fuel. They're more than willing to fight these 4v5s, but it's not going to work out this time around. The Dallas Fuel overstepped their mark. Fielder kills 1, but does it matter in the end? They have 30 seconds to go. They need to rush to the point. They've got no support ultimates and quite a late kill onto Fielder. This could be where the reverse sweep starts to happen for London.
Chio's gonna have to use that speed boost, and also on top of that commanding shot from Hanbin, just to be able to make it to point as a full team of 5 to be able to have a chance at getting there. But what do they have? Nothing. Sparker still has the overclock available, and Backbone might just have another blade for the end of this. Comes down to this.
And look at the positioning from Sparker right now. He does get dashed on, but his supports are right at his back, ready and waiting. Sparker finds 1. He's lining him up to knock him down. Harbin's dead. And London Spitfire are going to be able to defend on last. Sparker kills 3, almost 4. Overtime, disappearing. London's map choice, London's win. As the Dallas Fuel was so close to taking that map, London deny it. Reverse sweep on the cards.
Maybe.
London aren't out of this yet.
Hey, it was a start to a reverse sweep for Dallas Fuel yesterday when they were able to get a win on circuit, but this time it's going the way of the Spitfire. So maybe that's a good omen to get us to at least a map number 5.
Maybe they're getting in Dallas Fuel's head a little bit. Remember, Dallas came into this tournament from the qualifiers undefeated. Can they keep that streak alive? They only need 1 more map. We'll have to wait and see. It's their choice now, and we're going to push after this break. London turning the game on its head as they take Circuit Royale in quite a quick fashion, mind you. They had like 5 minutes going into third, something crazy like that. I mean, the Fuel at the start of the series also kind of speed running, but, you know, London Spitfire determined to hit those gold splits. You're 6'7". Really? 6'7"?
Who?
Seriously? Jeez, that is tall. Someone out of science says 6'7".
I feel like Bob's that tall.
Well, maybe that tall. Maybe.
I think so. I don't know.
You can cosplay with Bob. That'd be kind of cool, little hat on.
I would not be able to cosplay Bob. I'm too short for that. Oh,
you are.
Look at that.
Okay,
Yeah, you're tall.
You're goddamn tall. Good God. I look like a small garden gnome. Matt especially would look like a small garden gnome next to you.
Oh, that'd be funny.
All right, we are going to New Queen Street as the next map, and that is Dallas Fuel's choice.
Fuel's choice for a great reason, too. Dallas Fuel are 9-1 on this map throughout the course of this season so far. They have, I think, actually been able to get a completion on it, too. So Dallas, they know exactly what they need to do, the trajectory of the map, the architecture, and this also plays really well into Dallas Fuel's strengths as a team, where Sparkle gets set up to be able to get those dash resets, and also when Edison has been performing the way he's been performing today, this is a smart choice from Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, Chio can go on that high progressive playstyle too with Sparkle. We've seen that a lot actually with the Genji and the Lucio just going off as like a duo and then stopping the Sojourn or the Ashe, getting a good sightline and just kind of pressuring them out.
But London Spitfire played around that really well during Circuit Royale. Look at that. Backbone still all smiles today as he gets a chance to play on this beautiful stage in Toronto. And he's got a smile for a great reason. Backbone was so influential to London Spitfire getting that win on Circuit Royale, and he's been putting up the damage. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh.
Circuit, almost 11,000 damage.
Some good damage stats.
17 final blows.
When we transitioned into this meta too, his Genji didn't look that great, but like you can see the evolution of it. And then London were like, okay, the Genji's not great, maybe we'll try Mei. Mei worked to varying levels of success, yeah.
Depending
now he's
on
back
the team
on the
they're
Genji.
playing with.
Yeah, exactly. But now he's back on the Genji. He's looking like his old self. Like and I think Backbone kind of made his name playing the Mei in the Rush comp. It's good to see him flex onto a Genji, be more confident, and you have to be. Going against the Fuel, your confidence needs to be sky high, and it should be after that Circuit Royale. Queen Street is our next map. Is the London Spitfire want to take this to a game 5. They want to find the reverse sweep. Can the Dallas Fuel deny them of that in this next one?
Well, Dallas Fuel's record definitely supports the idea that Dallas Fuel could just end the series here.
Oh, yeah.
But I raise you the question of, can London Spitfire keep up this momentum that they've generated? They are very much kind of a momentum team, where we have seen them be able to go really hard against opponents even after a loss like yesterday. One map, and then all of a sudden it's just back-to-back 3 maps for wins.
It's like London, and this will make complete sense when I say it, and it might sound a little bit silly, but London being an EU team, it's like, it very much reminds me when I used to play in like EU solo queue. It's like, okay, so you have like a Ryan player, you're like Cloudy or like whatever Ryan player on the rank ladder. It's like, okay, someone has to be a Lucio player, right? And you just permanent speed boost, only running to the back line, and that's London Spitfire. That is what they want to do. That is their team. It's just, we want to put as much pressure on the backline as possible. Hardy is an exceptional Ryan player. He slotted into the Jungle Queen role incredibly well, and it's good that they have this dedicated Lucio player in Admiral. Of course, they have Khan too sitting on the bench. Their support lineup for this season, especially with the picking up of Khan, is pretty damn solid. Like, Khan is a little bit of a freak on the Zenyatta, you know? He's pretty crazy. And having a dedicated Lucio player is not something that a lot of teams had, and I think a lot of teams were kind of struggling to grab one.
But Dallas has one. Chio has been very good on the Lucio so far. You can actually see Dallas Fuel try to posture around the statue, but be careful, Chio. You don't want to go off the edge.
Yeah, you know, Chio's just gunning for the boom kills. Although Arbin ends up going down. Line is so low. Sparkle with a quick reset. Hardy's waiting around that corner. Can't go too far. And Backbone does what he does best. Shio, yeah, attempting to clean up some kills, but the London Spitfire control that bot and start pushing that barricade.
London Spitfire are so good at winning the first fight on New Queen Street as well. Despite their record on this map being kind of 50-50, they usually get a chance to set Sparker up for success on these longer sightlines in the neutral. Unfortunately, Sparker's gonna have to come back from spawn, but this is definitely a 5v4 Dallas want to capitalize on.
Actually, it'll disrupt a shot there. The retreating members of the London Spitfire have to all walk through that. Okay, and now Dallas Fuel rather quickly managed to clean up Sparker. Backbone's only just respawning now.
Look at Admiral's charge for the sound barrier. I know Sparker already. That's crazy. That's really fast for Lucio.
Yes, like, how has he got sound barriers?
Yeah, Violet's definitely another one of those players that you just blink and he's sound barrier already. Backbone gets so low though, you gotta be really careful. Put some resources into that Genji.
Oh my god, where'd he go? Where did Sparkle go? Okay, London Spitfire with a pick on the DPS. Dasfield did get some decent meterage, but losing a fight like this, and having London set up on you, if you don't find another pick, like a Sojourn moment from Edison, could be hard, especially on this corner where a lot of the supports can play around. London still want to pile on that pressure. To get another stagger kill here will be good. London are playing this as a 4v4, as there's still someone on the bot pushing that barricade. Dallasfield got a lot of ults coming online as the respawns come through. Rally coming out. Landon's dead. He can't match this from the Dallas Fuel. Backbone, does he choose to go in? Doesn't look like it. Wants to get a couple more meters as the rest of his team just decide to back off or either just commit themselves to the ult bank of the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, Backbone just had to disengage there, try to get up to the same meterage, but everybody on London Spitfire basically at this point walk away with an ult. And when you had Dallas Fuel utilize the overclock and the rally, once again, London Spitfire are just trying to get that ultimate economy in their favor. And they do such a good job of that, forcing these ults out of the Dallas Fuel when they force them to take these 4v5s. London will always try to force that out.
Backbone looking for a place to go in with that blade. Post-support ultimates being used by the London Spitfire to stave off this aggression. Backbone pulls the blade. That Geo sound barrier now non-existent. Somehow Fielder is in the spawn room almost of the London Spitfire. 40 meters and counting for the Dallas Fuel as they do end up getting white here on this corner. As London once again control that bot.
Bot's gonna move really quickly though as well. Look at London Spitfire just protecting that push bot. Sparker too, when this bot rounds the corner, can just go crazy with the overclock. He's even just gonna actually push up now because he's got such strong sightlines with these straightaways, but he's gonna start getting a little bit of space.
Look at what Dallasfield are trying to do. They're trying to split up the London Spitfire right now. An unbelievable rampage from Harbin hits both Landon and Sparker. They do end up trading as Dallasfield support line ends up going down and Harbin gets pulled away from the Mega Health Pack. On what was an amazing rampage from the Junker Queen on the Dallas Fuel side of things, the London Spitfire just ignore it completely, and Backbone does what he does best, and this series has really been a testament to how much his Genji has improved.
Absolutely, he just takes a little bit to warm up sometimes, you know, gotta get the confidence rolling, but just like that, London, they're gonna be able to match that meterage.
Sparkle's super low. He has a dash, but no deflect. Oh my god, Shio's going aggro. Sparkle doesn't really know where to look. He eventually gets taken care of by a Landon, but now Sparkle trying to show up Backbone just a little bit. Can't go too aggressive though, you still got to deal with that Junker Queen. You haven't got one on your side of things. 0.49 meters are London away from gaining the lead, but Sparkle's making sure they can't do that by putting himself on that bot. Fielder using the rally to sustain the rest of the Dallas Fuel as now Sparkle's just stealing the bot away, and the Dallas Fuel, all the meanwhile, have just won that fight. So this could be a dangerous situation for London Spitfire to be in. Dallas Fuel could get the checkpoint.
They could. I mean, this is a huge denial here from Dallas, and especially when Edison can use that overclock. London Spitfire haven't even rounded the corner yet. Edison can use this overclock as a zoning ultimate, and then all of this, London just can't approach. Their head's gonna get taken off here.
Overclock from Edison. Backbone's already dead. Edison with a perfect shooting gallery here for his overclock. That's a lot of damage onto Landon. The Fuel, the Spitfire backline have to stay alive, but they are unable to do so. Sparkle's still in the kill feed as the checkpoint has been unlocked.
Yeah, butt scratch mode has been activated, and just like that, also just pushed through. Dallas They got the overclock. They get to rotate now through Sparkle's blade. And Chio has been putting on some pressure. If he can still play aggressive.
Oh, early blade.
Backbone's just gonna go in first.
Yeah. Chio and Fielder have only got that overhealth to work for it from the Junker Queen. A lot of low health bars on the side of the Dallas Fuel, and now it's up to Sparkle to clean them up. Harbin the next target for London, but no, a knife kill onto Backbone as Hardy tried to push around the bus stop. The supports from the Dallas Fuel have been building up these support optimists this whole time. A blade now from Sparkle straight to the spawn of the London Spitfire. Admiral doesn't want to use this beat as it's their last surviving hopes to try and stop the Dallas Fuel from full capping.
They might have to use both support ultimates here, but Chio's gonna do the top air now. Okay, Edison gets taken out. Maybe this is where London Spitfire can come back.
Yeah, Edison dead to a headshot from Sparker. Both beats from either side have been used already. Dallas Fuel, they want to take this 4v5. They've done it plenty of times. Make that a 4-on-4 as London dies with Rally online. And now the Dallas Fuel can just march on forward. Hardy now trying to turn the tides in their favor with a two-man rampage. Harbin sends his one out too. It's Junker Queen versus Junker Queen, a Royal Rumble. But it's Harbin coming out on top. The Dallas Fuel want to end this series right here, right now.
Maybe with a full completion as well as Dallas Fuel. They're a full team. They're going to be trying to push all of London Spitfire back into their spawn. Backbone and Sparker, they're down.
They are just not giving them any space whatsoever. Sparker and Backbone dead. That bot nearing its completion.
This is going to be a tough one. Sparker's going to have to come out and use his overclock. Landon has to get the rally online. It's only meters away.
There you go, rally out. Bot contested. Can they find a pick-off? No, they cannot. Sparker ends up going down. They do trade, and look at this. Backbone's actually stealing the bot away. Dallas Fuel overcommitting to the spawn doors, and they get wiped. But 121 meters with 2.5 minutes to go.
Feels like a gargantuan task right now for London, but they are still getting those stagger picks. Hanbin just goes down. Backbone as well, just kind of going away from the team, trusting that the rest of his teammates will be able to clean up the Dallas Fuel. He's been able to get so much progress with this push bot. And also, maybe gonna get a blade online, while Fielder and Chio don't really have an answer right now.
Oh, that was a knife pull onto Edison there. You saw him slide forwards for not using his shift. Oh, Sparker lining them up. No one peeked their little heads out. He's got an angle, but nope, can't find anybody. Perfect disengage from the Dallas Fuel as the bot continues its path towards that checkpoint for the London Spitfire.
Right now, Dallas, they just really want to get a support ultimate online because Backbone's working up to that blade.
He is so close. He's just got it online and pulls it almost instantly. A commanding shout from both teams. Backbone with infinite speed, now running down the back line of the Dallas Fuel. Chio and Field are dead, but Dallas Fuel have meters to give with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. A gargantuan meterage bank, I don't know what to call it, 121 meters to 55 plus now. Double DPS ult for the Fuel as they come back. In fact, double DPS, full slate of ultimates.
That's just 5 ults right there. Dallas, though, they've got to come back strong. Look at how London Spitfire need to give them a little bit of space as that bot gets moving again. But they have to play perfectly here, Jaws. They can't drop anybody.
Edison on his little perch. There's a perfect collat lining straight up for him. The damage is insane, but Edison steps too far forward. The London Spitfire all antied. Admiral comes out with a peek, but it's not enough. Sparkle just swinging away and takes care of the rest of the London Spitfire. Admiral and Sparkle having to back up. There's 40 seconds to go. London want to keep themselves in this series.
Nobody can get staggered here because that would be absolutely detrimental for the London Spitfire. They have to give up some space. They got to fight in the neutral, but that's where they play best. But with 30 seconds remaining, London, they have to be able to get some big value here.
Rally from Fielder. A nice rampage from Hardy, but that overheld too much for them to choose through. 20 seconds to go. The bot is being contested by Admiral, but that's just about it. The Dallas Fuel just now need to wait 10 more seconds, and the series is theirs. Can anybody from London Spitfire get back in time? There's the rally online, but it is up to Admiral, Backbone, somebody with a speed boost to get to the point. Edison goes pretty low, same with Sparkle, but there is the commanding shout to top their health bars up. London do manage to get back to the point. Is the Dallas Fuel end up backing off?
You know, they have to because the rally is activated right now. Landon has given so much overhealth to the team of the London Spitfire, but it's going to start expiring very quickly. London, they've got to get one of these DPS ultimates online right now as they continue their homage to that final checkpoint.
And overtime as well will tick down super quick. You can't get off the payload now if you're London Spitfire. If you want to keep it the series, London's already dead. Sparkle in the backline. Sparkle's going to have to do something, but no. Sparkle takes him down. Hardy, the last damage dealer really for London on that point. The Dallas Fuel's health bars are waning, but Field are topping him up, finding the frags. The Dallas Fuel have done it. A 3-1 in the series as they continue their undefeated run in the Summer Showdown.
Such a valiant effort from the London Spitfire, but man, Dallas, they're just playing on a whole nother level today. The Sojourn matchup, so good for Edison, and then Sparkle, that Genji, wow, so clean.
Sparkle versus Sparker at the very end. The plays from Sparkle look so good, and the Dallas Fuel, look, they almost got wiped by the Washington Justice yesterday, but they hit them with the reverse sweep. They went down on their map pick on Circuit Royale. Oh, no, sorry, they end up taking London on Circuit Royale, and then going down at a very, very, very close game, or close map. Push was all theirs. 121 meters is ridiculous from the Fuel. They look unstoppable in this meta.
That was almost a full cap there for the Dallas Fuel. That was the perfect choice of New Queen Street. They got it down. Sparkle, Edison, honestly the whole team. But even Hanbin just setting himself up for these massive rampages so that the DPS and the supports could really follow up on that damage.
London aren't out though. They do go down to the lower bracket. We'll find out their opponent a little bit later on today. How do the Fuel prep for their next match? I mean, honestly, you don't need to do much. They continue playing this way, Rose. You could see them in the finals quite easily. Who can trip them up? It was Decay yesterday, being quite frustrating, right, on doing what Decay does best. But the Dallas Fuel right now, their understanding of the meta and how aggressive and the tempo setting is just unmatched by any other team.
It's been so good to watch the Dallas Fuel just kind of keep up that pressure and the aggression, but they've got to keep doing it again.
Looks like we've got some special words, I think, from Edison with Danny on the stage. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Thank you very much. What is up, everybody? Danny Lim here for the post-match interview. I'm joined by Edison from Dallas Fuel. Edison, congratulations on the win. Before we get into the post-match interview, I just want to ask you, how are you feeling right now? How does it feel to be on land, you know, like in front of people, in front of the crowd? 자, 일단 좀 이번 인터뷰를 시작하기 전에 맛배기로 이렇게 오랜만에 이렇게 사람들 앞에서 경기를 펼치게 되셨는데 좀 어떠신가요?
일단은 그래도 확실히 온라인보다는 오프라인 대회이기 때문에 확실히 좀 더 긴장이 되는 것 같고 그리고 이제 함성 소리 같은 걸 들을 수 있어서 되게 기분이 업됩니다. 네.
Right, definitely because this is offline event compared to when we play online. There's, you know, I do feel a little bit nervous, but I do get the energy, and whenever the crowd gives me all the cheers, it definitely feels a lot better. I just want to quickly follow up on that. Do you feel like because you are, I guess, in front of the crowd, like you said, you were nervous. Did that affect your gameplay at all from today's match and maybe yesterday's match against Washington Justice? 방금 어떻게 오프라인 경기이기 때문에 조금 긴장을 하신다고 하셨잖아요. 그게 이제 오늘 경기나 또 아니면 또 어제 경기에 좀 더 영향을 미쳤다고 생각을 하시나요?
어제는 좀 긴장하기도 했지만은 그냥 저희 팀이 그냥 저도 그렇고 확실히 긴장을 해서 그런지 실수를 되게 많이 했었고 그리고 이제 어느 정도 게임을 한 뒤에 긴장이 풀리고 나서 이제 팀원들이랑 소통을 잘 해서 게임을 잘 풀어 나갈 수 있었던 것 같습니다. 네.
I do think that, yes, nerve was definitely one of the factors, but another thing is because of those nerves, because all of our teammates, and myself included, were nervous, we made a lot of mistakes in yesterday's match. But after we got over that nerves, we were able to communicate better, and that's how we were sort of carrying on that game. Now, talking about yesterday's match, and also today, I guess you are sort of special because as a hit scan player, you get to choose between Sojourn or Ashe. Were there any sort of adjustments that you made coming into today after playing Washington Justice yesterday? 이제 다음 질문은 이제 우리 에디슨 선수가 이제 아무래도 히트 스캔 플레이어이다 플레이어이기 때문에 이제 애쉬 또 아니면 또 이제 소전 두 개에다 좀 이렇게 기용을 하시는데 어제 워싱턴 경기와의 이제 싸움이 끝난 다음에 오늘 좀 어떻게 좀 뭐 변한 게 있었나요?
변한 거라고 하면은 원래 애쉬를 쓰는 맵이 좀 많았었는데 그 맵을 이제 좀 더 소전으로 쓰는 맵을 선택하기로 좀 바꾸기로 했었고 그런 부분 이제 애쉬보다는 소전을 좀 더 기용할 수도 네, 있을 것 같습니다.
기용할 가능성이 더 있다.
가능성이 네.
Okay. Compared to yesterday, so yesterday we actually had more maps that were that Ash were more viable. But coming into today, I guess whenever we had the choice of making the map choice, we focused on more Sojourn focused maps. So I think in the future there might be a possibility where a Sojourn might be played more for our team. All right, that is it for the interview. Everybody, give it up for Edison one more time. Thank you very much. With that being said, let's send things back to our casters, Joss and Nekra. Who's the player of the match?
Wow, good question, Danny. It's like you read the runner show. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, Edison, doing really well. Like you said, there were some maps that they prefer playing Ash on, some they're playing Sojourn on. At the end of the day, they won. Like a 3-1.
Oh, yeah.
And the winner of this game, too, you can't see it, but Matt and Mitch are just trying to distract me right now, dancing off camera. Yeah, that's
So
pretty sick.
stupid.
Love that from my colleagues. Very epic. But look, the winner of this series does end up playing Houston or Shock. I want to see that rematch, baby. That Shock versus Dallas rematch. Look, they gave them their first loss in a long time. We'll see if Houston can tip the scales in their favor. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a tough one. But let's have a look at the player of the match. Thank you, Danny, as well. It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. And now I'm just throwing it on.
Well, our player of the match is going to be the man of the hour is Sparkle on the Genji. I mean, it's a hard choice for Dallas Fuel as well, picking a player of the match because every single person on that team had incredible highlight moments. I mean, I was even talking about Fielder maybe getting that player of the match, just the shield bashes and the flails, to be able to displace members on London Spitfire. But at the end of the day, Sparkle, those blades were sharp.
He's still got it. I remember back in 2020, I think we mentioned this yesterday, but yeah, the bidding war for Sparkle was just ridiculous. Like, this guy is still an insane flex DPS. Those stats really backing that up.
23.7 eliminations per 10?
That feels pretty
What is that?
Pretty, I don't know, just Sparkle things, I suppose.
What is this?
What is this? What is this? I'm not sure. It's a lot of damage. Can anybody take down Sparkle? That is the question. Like I said, Shock or Houston will beat their opponents. The London Spitfire aren't out of this. They do go down to the lower bracket, which should be an interesting run. Can they end up going through all the way to the loser bracket finals? We'll have to wait and find out. They still look like a formidable opponent.
Well, London Spitfire is going to play the winner of the Vancouver match that's going to be happening a little bit later. So Canada buff, maybe? I don't know.
Canada buff? Is it still a thing? Are Toronto going to win today?
Come on now, Toronto, show Canada team some love here.
We'll have to wait and see. We're going to do a quick break. We've got match number 2 coming up soon. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.